here representing the Unit of Bothell, one of the groups. Currently I'm studying electrical engineering. I'm a first year.
Hi, I'm Janera. I'm a third year. I'm majoring in American Ethnic Studies.
Hey guys, I'm Jaden. This is my last year, fourth year, and I am majoring in business.
Hello, my name is Daisy. I'm a first year and I'm majoring in business.
Hello, I'm also Jesus. I'm a pre-dental student and third year.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a junior and I'm studying psychology.
Yes, my name is Eduardo. I'm a senior and I graduate next month, and I'm studying business.
So for our event, this took place on campus in one of our bigger areas that we have. And so the name of our event we have up there, Latino Culture Night. And so we had food, we had some tacos, we also had some good drinks. We had aguas frescas, we had some dancers come along, we had some music as well. We have some loteria, we have some other games as well for people to enjoy as they were eating, some live art, and piñatas.
Okay, so now on to the purpose of this event, or why we did this. Looking back throughout the years, we really wanted to make an event that would be impactful for our campus, that would show that we need this representation of Latino culture on our campus. And we also just wanted to put on a fun event for everyone on campus, not even Latino culture. We wanted to have all these events and information, and also we wanted to show the greater community, so we wanted to have vendors there as well. And yeah, that was really why we put this event on.
Here are pictures of some of our vendors. They were all from Washington, all small businesses, and they were all proud Latinas.
So the creativity and inventiveness of our project. We did a lot of brainstorming. At first we thought maybe dance lessons, cooking lessons, taco truck, and we ended up doing a community mural. We found Olivia Ortiz after doing some Instagram stalking. She was amazing. Her the title of the mural is called Roots of Success, which is kind of is great because this is the first event on UW campus that was thrown by Latinos.
Yeah, so as Vanessa said, we did a lot of brainstorming. And so one of those plans that kind of got shut down was that taco truck. We could not get that going. And so that was one of our goals we had. And so we were identifying our resources, right? Where do we get this food then if we can't have a taco truck? And so we're reaching out, and we're trying to find those resources, right? We got a couple places to get this food. We also got the live art. And so after that, right, prioritization, what's more important, right? What are we putting first? What are we putting last? Food needs to be ordered, but it's also day of. So, for example, as well the live art, how are we going to arrange that? Where are we going to get the person to do the live art? Where are we going to get the plywood? And then as well, we have setting deadlines, right? Kind of the prioritization, what goes first, what goes last. And then our debrief, right? Getting that feedback. So, I know you said in effective communication, right? Important part of effective communication is that feedback. So, just looking to what we can do better, and what went wrong, what went well.
So how did our group track these activities? Well, to begin with, at the very beginning, before we started even thinking of what we were going to do, we made a Google document tracking, keeping track of oh, you're going to do this, you're going to know those people, you're going to stalk those people, and how to get them into our event. We also made a group chat later into the weeks, just to have better communication with one another. And that led us, and on the day of the event, we had our roles. We had everything. It was clear who was going to do what and what they were responsible for. So, yeah.
How our event was considered successful was we had a very strong attendance, active engagement, and a lot of positive feedback from these participants. Attendees were at these vendor booths making purchases as well as enjoying our live performances and loteria that we had to offer. Even after our event, many of these attendees came up to us and expressed their gratitude for this event, sharing how meaningful it was for them in creating a sense of belonging as well as a sense of community, which further confirms the success.
And the lessons we learned in terms of leadership is that leadership is shared, and we learned that teams work effectively. We all need to step up and lead in order to achieve a common goal. And we also learned that adaptability is essential, challenges are inevitable, and we all need to learn how to be flexible and take the initiative to adapt in order to be successful.
Now, throughout the process of planning this event, we encountered a lot of challenges. Some of those being funding, some of those being time, and other being permissions. Well, right in the beginning, we found out that funding was going to be a big challenge for us. Kind of like Jesus said, we really wanted a taco truck, but that's a lot of money. So we had to figure out how we were going to get additional funding because we had big goals. So we reached out to LSU, and we were able to secure a partnership with them and get additional funding, and we were able to put on our successful event. Next, we had time. Like a lot of things, time is always a problem. And we had about 2.5 months, 2 months to plan this event. So we had to make sure we had all our goals lined up, and we had to make sure everything was organized. And then for last, we had permissions. There's a lot of permissions you have to get to put on an event like this on our campus. So to even put on the event, we had to get permissions for the space to put it on. For the food, we had to get permissions. To have the vendors there, we had to get permissions. And lastly, the piñata. On the day of, we had to get permissions for that. We had permissions to even hang it, which was a struggle. But a couple calls were made, thank you, Dana. And we were able to get permission for it, and it was really fun. And overall, yes, we did encounter a lot of challenges, but I think we learned a lot from them. And I hope that the next generation will be able to learn from these challenges as well.
So the future of this event is in great hands. This next generation of leaders are going to build and improve the success that we had this year. We had 5 vendors join us this year, and I want to give a shout out to them. It's Camelias Dos and More, Flor de Cactus, Lauren Brier Echeverria, Luisa Hoffman, and Siviera. These are just a few of the representations in our community, and next year we want to see more of them. We also had some performers, bailarinas folclóricos, also Citlali, Naomi, Sonia, Isabella, and Camille, who put on a great performance. It was about like a 10-minute performance, and it was great. And it was just a piece of Latin culture. We know that there's more culture, more diversity in our community. Next year we want to invite more communities from different cultures so that they can show us their traditional cultures and art that they can show us. And then lastly, we want to connect with more Latino supportive groups that are, I have a note here, El Centro de la Raza, Latino Civic Alliance, and Latino Community Fund. These are great groups that can be there to support us, not only to show that they're there for us, but also provide valuable resources, inspiration, and opportunities for the younger generations like us. So the future of this event is in great hands, and thank you.
Personal reflections, I'd like to share something. So I'm a senior this year, I'm graduating, and I've done this for 2 years, LLI. I've done LLI for 2 years. It's my second year doing this. And I think back to my first year on campus, and I remember that there was not really like a community for me on campus. I remember being there and wondering like where an event like this was. I feel like I didn't have a voice on campus. So I made a promise to myself that I was going to be that change and do something to bring a voice to Latinos on campus. So now after the event, I think back and I wonder if my freshman year self would be proud of me now, and I think so. And I just want to say thank you to my whole group here, to Dana and Nivea, to everyone that's part of this cohort. It's been a pleasure, and it's been so much fun learning and growing throughout this experience.
Bothell, I noticed that there was an LLI thought I wanted to challenge myself to go out of my comfort zone because I've never joined a school club. And so I did, and I've made friends. It's been a really awesome experience, and I feel seen more than I have been in my previous school career.
And then lastly, I'd just like to say, piggyback off what they said, I'm an older student, I'd say. Never too young to study though. But I always felt like there was no representation. I also started at W College in UW. But one of the things that I was certain that I wanted to do was join a Latino club. And I'm glad that I got recruited by an ex-member who isn't with us today, but her name is Olivia. She found me in class and she's like, you need to join LLI. And I was like, this is my go. I joined it and it's been great experience. And this whole project was great. I've been working for almost a decade, 10 years in the professional world, and I've never done anything like this, started an event from the bottom up. It was a challenge, but we did it, and now we're here talking to you guys about it, so it was a good experience. And like David said, thank you to all my members, and thank you to all.
Questions or anything?
Great job.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you
Really
for-
enjoyed the stories.
Yeah, thank you for being vulnerable and being brave. Appreciate those stories. Curious what your biggest piece of advice would be to a group of students who would want to recreate this when you all leave your campus.
Yeah, I think start as early as possible. I think, like I said, time it goes by fast, and if you can, make sure that you plan everything out beforehand, and make sure that you are committed to sticking to dates. I think that's the way to do it, because there are definitely things that we could have done if we would have thought ahead. So make sure sticking to schedules, I think.
Also, don't be afraid to pave a new path. This was the first event on either Bothell, thrown by Latinos. So don't be afraid to go out there and challenge yourself.
Talking about that permission that I have to get since it's the first, Latino group that we have, how did that contraction go? Like, was it an automatic approval? Like, how was that process? And then after we get permission to throw that big party?
Yeah, it wasn't like an automatic approval. There's a lot of things you have to go for like most things on campus. So they ask like a lot of questions about like why, like and like how much, and you're like, I don't know. So you really have to like think specifically. So we didn't get automatic approval, especially like for the piñata, for example. Like they told us we could do it, but they didn't tell us how we could do it. So we had to figure it out ourselves. And then once we figured it out ourselves, they're like, you can't do that. And then, but then luckily we were able to do it. So it took a lot of work to get what we wanted fully, but it was worth it. So yeah, hope that answered your question.
On the day of the event, I know you mentioned this is the first biggest Latino supported event on campus ever. So did you guys see any direct impact on the people that were attending? Did you hear things like, oh, this is anything that you've heard that was motivational or felt heartwarming and touched you personally?
I have friends who go to Skagit, which is on the same campus, and they were telling me I wish I was part of something like this to set on this event. And I told them, well, you could next year or something. So just seeing the community and all of us together really, I think, inspired them.
I think also it was really cool to see the diversity that was there. It was not just Latino, there was a lot of different cultures there, but they didn't just stay there for the food, some of them stayed for the whole event. So it was really cool to see they stayed for the dancing, they stayed for the piñatas. We had just music playing in the background, and they stayed there for the whole event, so it was cool to see.
So I was at the event. It was so fun. Congratulations. It was so impressive how you were able to pull it off just on a logistic level. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about the collaborations that you had with the event. I know that Letty had a table there, as well as the Spanish 216, which is a Spanish class. So how was the process of communicating with them, having them at the event? What was the impact of having those partners?
Yeah. So I think the hardest part was obviously just communicating is hard in general. Just sending emails and stuff. And then figuring out like how they were going to show their organization or the class. And then I think it was really impactful though, because it shows that there is a wider range of things that we have on campus or also in our community. Like for example, like Letty, like I'm so glad you guys came because I think it just showed that there's more out there. And I think it was really good just to have as much like information as possible for students. And yeah, anyone else want to say anything on that?
Daisy, how's your collaborations with the vendors?
I reached out to a lot of them, and some of them were sad because they couldn't come, but they're like, please keep me in mind for next year, because they didn't want to give up an opportunity like this, and I think they were really happy to be there.
Yeah, we had great feedback from the vendors, a lot of them wanted to participate next year, and we're already asking if it's gonna be held next year, and hopefully, they'll be there with us, so it's great.
Also, it's an easy though, because you communicated with probably over 20 vendors, and we ended up getting 5 in the end.
Well, we did have to limit